Welcome to Reddit Recap. Don't forget to subscribe. Reddit asks, adult children of helicopter parents, how do you deal with them now? I am low contact. A lot of us go low or no contact. Just under 3 years ago, I called my mom and admitted to her that I was a heroin addict and ready to get sober. It shook her to her core, thinking she had failed. But to her credit, she came to the realization on her own through therapy, basically without me telling her point blank, that no amount of micromanaging would ultimately ensure the outcome she wanted for me. I have been sober for 2 years and 10 months. And my mother and I now enjoy a very fulfilling relationship. She still has her opinions on what I should not be doing. But she knows now that ultimately I make the final decisions in my life. Had she not come to the conclusion on her own, I would have been prepared to draw firm boundaries and adhere to them at all costs. Glad it didn't come down to that. I just say no when I'm told to do something or follow a rule. I don't give a reason. Even when I'm asked why. It's satisfying. Still pretty bad. I'm 26. Married and a mom of 4. She treats me like a toddler when she visits. Thinks I'm incapable of basic things, like making breakfast or taking care of my kids. She'll hover over me while I'm changing my kids, criticizing how well I'm doing. She tries to go through my clothes and pick out outfits for me to wear. Will literally buy me clothes that look like baby clothes. It's weird. Have to set some hard boundaries with her. My parents weren't that bad, but they were quite overprotective. After I turned 21, I still wasn't allowed out after dark and all that jazz. Had to let them know where I was going and who I was seeing in case I was murdered. What I did was move to another continent. I talk to them every couple of weeks over WhatsApp voice chat. They try and tell me what to do sometimes and I'm just like okay and don't do it. They say things, and I just kinda go MHMMM like I'm agreeing that I will do those things. But never verbally say I will do those things. In Asia we call them parents. I don't. I'm not NC with them but I'm absolutely firm on my boundaries and standing up for myself. And I don't let their tantrums sway me. On the other hand, the pressure does eat at me. But I'll never let them know that. I started standing up for myself and telling them off but I also struggle with being self-sufficient. Especially with ADHD. So it's a vicious cycle. Especially when I can't afford to move out. Standing up for things they don't agree on is pretty useless. Not only did I get yelled at for requiring my permission before my mom logs into my university student email account to help me manage my stuff. She doesn't even do it when she grudgingly agreed. I remember her announcing me at dinner she had gone in my account and enrolled me in a class without asking me first while I was away at school. As an adult this makes me very uncomfortable. Edit. Fuck it you guys are right I'm changing my password live. I will get yelled at so bad but worth it. Well my mother flew a Eurocopter as 350 and did paid tours of New York City, New York. My father flew a Bell UH-1 Iroquois during a deployment to Afghanistan. My father is a retired veteran running his own bait and tackle shop and my mom still does occasional tours from their house in upstate New York. They are both lovely and I adore them dearly. Thanks for asking. My dad was never a helicopter parent. He was actually the complete opposite. My mom was a super helicopter parent. When I was a sophomore in high school I got grounded from everything. I couldn't go anywhere or do anything. I had to go to school and come home. I couldn't watch TV unless it was about God. I didn't have a phone or computer and couldn't listen to music for months. It got worse and worse as time went on. She would give me a curfew randomly one day and it would be different the next day. I would get in trouble from not following a curfew I had no idea existed. She gaslighted me so much that I often felt like I deserved what was happening to me. After going to therapy I am better able to identify her abusive and bipolar tendencies. I'm working on minimizing contact with her. So, whenever she's being a pain in my ass I just tell her to fuck off. Edit. I took out irrelevant information out. My brother and I had no free time allowed growing up. Just music and homework allowed. Age 30 plus. My dad has passed away now. He was never the problem, but my mom still does her best to control our lives. Inserting herself into situations she doesn't belong. And passive aggressively putting us in situations that she wants to happen. But cutting her off or telling her she's overstepping makes us the bad ones. So minimal contact and details are all that's on the menu for her from me now. My brother doesn't get it though. Giving her minute details and then getting annoyed when she thinks she can have a say in how he lives his life. My parents track my location at all times now. I'm 27. That way they don't call the cops if I don't pick up within 30 minutes, which has happened multiple times. Move to a different country. Keep contact to a minimum. Honestly, me and my husband are trying to figure this out. My mill is a total helicopter parent. If one of us, me, my husband, or his brother, doesn't respond to her messages within an hour or two, she'll bombard the other two about where we are if something happened to us. She freaked out on me when I didn't respond to her after 3 hours. We were doing a cross-country drive, and accused me of trying to shut her out and said we're never going to be a real family because of the walls I've built up around myself. I don't know what to do. My husband won't stand up to her as much as I want him to. But I can't do this for the rest of my life. We have to establish some boundaries. But it's not my mom, so I can't be the one to initiate. I'm 7 months pregnant and my mom had effectively bubble wrapped me as a child and stunted my social skills quite harshly growing up. My mom keeps trying to insert herself into my doctor's appointments and barge into my house when my nursery furniture arrived, though she paid for it. My husband and I simply avoid telling her things and firmly try to explain to her that she can't throw a tantrum when she doesn't get her way, and if she keeps at it she will be ejected from our life. Went no contact with my helicopter mom in May of 2018. I was 25. She sent me weekly emails trying to talk to me. Texted me random things like a photo of her cat from her phone and her husband's phone. Her last email consisted of her telling me she was going to come over to my house and if I wasn't there, she was going to come to my work to find me. A week after that email, I packed up everything and moved 1,200 miles away without telling her. She messaged a woe is me sob story to my so's mom about how worried she is because she can't find me. Still talks to her to this day. Then on this past Saturday, she calls my job and says, "Hi, switched. This is mom." I hung up immediately and am now seriously searching for jobs. I don't care what it is. I need to change jobs now. I'd get a restraining order, but she is just out of the legal requirement for stalking. A lawyer laughed at me when I asked them if I can have one. Edit. A week after. Not 5 days. She sent me that email on the 21st of June and I bounced on the 28th of June. Unfortunately, the helicopter behavior continued after I got married and had children. Eventually, the only way to gain control was to go no contact. The way that I got my mom to chill out on me was to tell her that I wanted to go to a college out of state. That was the moment she realized she wasn't going to be protective of me forever, and it took her a long time to accept it. As of now, she's been a little easier on me, though she still sometimes treats me like a child. If I'm out of state, then I just limit contact with her and don't call home often. I think a lack of contact is the best everyone with helicopter parents can do initially, because it's just so refreshing to be by yourself with nobody breathing on your neck after so long. I ignore them. To be honest, it's also because I'm in a different city and have a hectic job. But there was also a period of slowly getting them used to the fact that they would not know and control every detail of my adult life. It got better when I started college, which was really surprising to me. We have a really good relationship now and I've forgiven her for preventing me from making any kind of strong connections with friends. She never let me hang out with friends outside of school except like one girl BC. They were very close with her parents and all of my boyfriends for some reason, so I ended up having a lot of boyfriends lol. Besides that, she is a great mom. My older sister still resents her though, even though she has apologized for it. My mom definitely has a sort of extreme anxiety paranoia that has gone without help or her even realizing it until I talked with her about it in my adult years. I try to help her whenever she is feeling that way now, even though I wish she'd go get therapeutic help, but they don't have the money to. My parents weren't. But a friend moved to a different state and got engaged, and my friend's mom still managed to be a helicopter parent, visiting at least 3 times a month and contacting either her or her so constantly. It ruined the engagement because the so finally had enough, because even though my friend was annoyed with her mom as well, she couldn't cut her mom off completely. I DK all the details, but it must have been super annoying if someone was like, I love you. But fuck having in-laws like this. She is now single and has moved back home. It's unfortunate. It was a nice sense of relief to get out of the house. To put it into perspective, here's some of the stuff that was common in my house. 8:30 bedtime up until senior year. Senior year. No shooting games allowed. I could only ever play Minecraft with my friends. Could not close doors other than bathroom. Could not lock bathroom doors. Could not spend your own money without parents' approval first. Could not play on computer unless they were home. Obviously this rule got broken a lot. No social media at all. The one that got me the most though was until junior year we could only have sleepovers at our house and could not go to most birthday parties. Getting out of the house for college was an absolute godsend. I love being independent and stupid with my money and being able to play whatever games I want when I want. So yeah, that's kinda what it's like. Hold on, let me go ask my mom. That's all for this video. You made it to the end. If you enjoyed the video, please consider subscribing so you know when the next videos are released. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.